Hey guys, Snarky Entertainment System, doing my Haven Hall of the King Let's Play, and this is part 18, the upper level of the volcano. What you're gonna see in this level is actually what I consider to be one of the better parts of the game, oddly enough. It's, I just find this part interesting because it actually works in the diversive gameplay in a pretty creative manner. I mean, not the most creative manner, but better than it has been doing it all along. Of course, it does have to start out with a very tired video game cliche of climbing a cylindrical room by scaling a bunch of turning cogs. And in this case, it doesn't do it even particularly well. Some of these jumps are really difficult to make just because of the way the timing works out on the spinning cogs, and it also doesn't help that grabbing onto ledges as a game mechanic doesn't work too well in this game. It works sometimes better than others, but as a general thing, it's just something I would, not have, done with in this game. If I had made it, I would have said, he must grab everything! Or he must grab nothing, and we'll just make the jumps closer. One interesting thought I've always had is, where did double jumping come from in the first place? Like, Haven, double jumping or whatever. I've just gotta wonder, where did double jumping come from? As like a video game concept. Because, first of all, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, some games justify it, like Dr. Muto with his, rocket shoes or whatever. I just have to wonder, is it because some developer just made jumps that were too hard to make, and then, I don't know, decided instead of making the jumps easier that they would just give the person a second jump? Because video games, as far as I know, are the first and maybe only medium that does with double jumping. Because nobody else, I think, would be so deluded to even think of that concept. I mean, somebody had, because not just one person works on a video game, so somebody else must have seen what the guy was doing, must have been like looking over his shoulder and been like, hey man, what are you doing over there? And he says, oh, I decided I was gonna make him, I was gonna give him 2 jumps. The other guy's like, what are you talking about, dude? 2 jumps? Are you sure you're not a little, are you sure you're not in some kind of altered state of mind? Maybe you've been hitting the crack pipe too much. And the guy goes, no man, I think it'll be really cool. He jumps twice. He's in the air, and then he jumps again. And then the guy says, okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't get it. I don't get what you're doing here, man. And he says, you just don't understand because you have demonic origins. Because you were summoned here by witches. And the guy says, well, you got me there. But still, I think that double jumping's a little weird. I think maybe that's not what we want to investigate right now. That's just, it confuses me. I mean, who had the idea in the first place? Because I want to know what the first video game is that included double jumping. It's probably not a difficult thing to find if I were to look it up right now, but I don't want to stop recording. I'll check it out and let you guys know next time. But I mean, it's a weird thing. It's a really weird thing because, I mean, it caught on. It's not like one of those things where one video game included double jumps and everybody was like, that doesn't make any sense. Let's just neuter this double jumping thing before it catches on. It actually caught on. And double jumping became a thing. Not just a thing, but a big thing. Like a lot of video games do it. I gotta say, it doesn't take me out of it. Because, I mean, some games, a lot of games are just about the fun of it. But it's just one of those things you gotta ask yourself sometimes. Why the fuck is he able to propel himself after already being in midair? Nobody has that kind of hold over gravity. He's a witch! It's witchcraft, I say! Go get John Proctor and bring him to the courthouse. And we will nip this in the bud. We will settle this tomfoolery once and for all with a hanging. And go put some stones on the chest of Giles Corey. I gotta say, the story of Giles Corey is one of the most badass things ever. Now, if you don't get what I'm referencing here, I'm referencing the Salem witch trials. There was a play written about it called The Crucible. And it's a good play. And Giles Corey was a real person. He was this old motherfucker who was charged with contempt of court during the Salem witch trials, and the courts tried to get answers out of him by pressing giant stones on him, and they just kept putting more and more stones on him, and they just kept stacking and stacking and stacking, squeezing the life out of him. And Giles Corey, remember, this guy's an old motherfucker. I mean, think about your grandpa sitting in his chair, scratching his balls and reading his, I don't know, reading his Reader's Digest or something. Or his Republicans Are Us magazine, I don't know. He's just, this is Giles Corey. He's old. And, the last thing, they ask him, do you have anything you want to say? And what he responds with is more weight. Just think about how badass that is. He's saying, bring it on, you fucking dipshits. I can take it. I'm gonna die, but you know what? Fuck the what? Fuck the police, man. Give me more weight. I just think that's freaking awesome, and not just because I played him once when I was in a production of The Crucible. Yeah, me, doing theater. Can you believe that? But anyway, that section you just watched always reminds me of the Water Temple in a less painful, in a much less masochistic way. It reminds me somewhat of the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time. And yes, I say Ocarina. Ooh! I'm not gonna say Ocarina. Now, this right here. Call talent for assistance. There's still more to do after this, after I ring this bell, but, I figured getting Talon for assistance, you know, after gathering all those feathers in the last episode, I felt it was a sort of culmination, and that it would be a good place, you know, after Talon showed up and I did whatever Talon things I had to do. I figured that would be a good place to stop. So, as soon as I land, I'm going to cut this one short, but thanks for watching, guys. Drop some comments, subscribe, whatever. I love you guys. I don't tell you that enough, but I feel like I should, because you guys are great. I don't have the most subscribers in the world, but I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.